All right, part two. So I think I have done one on cosine rule, but there's one question at the bottom I want to focus on, which is the sine rule. But I thought these are always handy to do because people always get confused by bearings, those troublesome bearings. Okay, what's the angle of? Sorry, I'll start. Lewis travels 27 kilometers from C to A. Put it in there, particularly for a question where you got room to do it. Do it on a bearing of 049. Don't forget, so bearing from north around here. So we'll put that as 49 degrees. And I might even put up here 049 degrees. He then travels due south for 12K. Oops. Sorry. I was just trying to avoid doing that. That's probably really bad. I should start again. But nope, we're going to keep going. What's the size of angle CAB? Okay, so CAB, we're after this angle in here. Okay, so the middle letter is the one we want. And this is going to be nice because what we can do is draw a compass bearing. And because we got a compass bearing, because we have two parallel lines, and I've covered this in a previous episode. So if you follow this before, we're going back to our alternate shape. Okay, because this is 49 degrees. This is also 49 degrees. And that's where I'm looking in these two angles. These two angles here are the same as these two angles in here. Okay, so the angle for that one, what's the size of it? It is 49 degrees. And if you don't see, if you can't find it and you need it for this part, just put something in. Doesn't matter. You'll lose the mark for this one, but hopefully you can do this one. Find the distance B to C. So this is X. So we're going to use a cos rule. And what do I know cos rule? Because I have the two sides and the included angle. And hopefully by now that should scream to you to use cos rule. And so the cos rule, it's on your formula sheet. So I'm going to say x is equal to the square root. And now it's going to be 27 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 12 times 27 times cos of the angle that we have, which is 49. And don't forget to correct the one decimal place. And again, I'm just not spending as much time on the cos one because we have done that in a previous episode. Just more a bit of a revision, I think, than anything. 27 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 12 times 27 times 49. We put in the bracket. Sometimes it comes up syntax error, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so again, 21.1, and look at the second decimal place. That's bigger than 5, so we're going to call it 21.2. 21.2. And I'm going to replace that. 21.2. Now, use sine rule to find the size and hence the true bearing of B from C. So what is the true bearing of B? So we want to know how far is it around from here all the way around to, and I'll probably do it in a different color. We want to know how far it is. So if I can find this little angle in here, I should be able to add that onto my 49 to find the bearing of B from C. And because it's saying from, it's saying, hey, this is where you're going from, and I want to walk in that direction of B. And my hand movements, I realize, are just useless at the moment. Okay, so we're going to use sine rule, and the sine rule we're going to use is the one on your formula sheet. It is the, I'll still the same one actually, but I'm going to have this sine, the angle on top, sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. You can do it the other way if you want, Personally, I would have gone Cosrule. Would have been heaps easier, but they've asked us, says use sign, so let's use sign. So we need to have a matching pair. So we don't know this angle in here. Don't know that angle, but we do know its corresponding side. So we're going to call that, we'll leave it as, we'll leave it as A. Leave it as A. So sine of A over 12 is equal to, now we're just going to pick a matching pair. Now we do have a matching pair because we've set this up. We've got this 49 degrees, which we got earlier, and we've got this matching side. These are corresponding sides, and that's what you need for the sine rule, two pairs. So we're going to say sine of 49 over 21.2. Now, how do I get rid of this 12? We multiply both sides by 12. So what you're left with is sine of alpha is equal to 12 times sine of 49 over 21.2. And now, because we're finding an angle, we always need to go the sine inverse or shift sign, 12. You don't have to write the fraction like that. I know I've just written it. I just saw what I wrote. We can write it like this, 12 times sine 49 over 21.2, if that makes you more comfortable. So let's do that in a calculator. So, and if you get an answer or close to zero, usually finding an angle, you have not pushed shift sign. Don't forget, this also needs to be a D. If you don't know how to change it, or you can see it in your test, tell your teacher quickly so they can change it for you. We'll also show you before you get to the HSE. Pretty easy, it's not hard. 21.2. And just on that, make sure you've got a backup calculator. If your calculator fails in the test, HSE test, then that's on you. So take a backup if you can. So 25, and I'm going to put in degrees, minutes, seconds because we're talking about bearings in a second. So so that is 25 degrees, 17 seconds. Okay, so it was the size of my angle over here. So the bearing is going to be, equal 49 plus 25 degrees, 17 seconds. And I might round this to the nearest degree plus the 49. So that would be 74 degrees. And I might put 0.d.p. All right. Surely I don't have to go to the third video. No, we can get this done. A bit of finance. Here we go. So Bethany offered two similar jobs to compare gross weekly pay. Council pays an hourly rate of $25.60 for a 36-hour week with overtime and time and a half for additional hours. Public service job, $60K annually for a 40-hour week. How much would she be paid weekly for the public service job? So again, 60,788 divided by 52. Please remember there's 52 weeks in a year. I've had students in the past forget that. It's like how many cards in a deck of cards? Divided by 52. So 1,169. That's dollars per week. How much would she paid for working the council job? She worked the normal hours. So in this case, it's just 36 hours multiplied by 25.60. So 36 hours multiplied by 25.60. So 921.60, 60. Okay. How many hours of overtime would she need to work at the council job to achieve the same as the public service job? Okay, so what we need to do, so the key here is overtime worked at time and a half for any additional hours. So the first thing we're going to need to know is how much money is the difference. So 1169 minus 921.60. Let's do that. We can use the answer button, which would be really handy here. Save us typing something in twice. So $247.40. Now, what we need to do is figure out what is the time and a half rate. So that's how much extra they need. Now, time and a half rate. So that is going to equal, was it 2650? Yeah, 2560. 2560 times 1.5. Okay, so let's do that. 25.6 times 1.5. So for this additional hours, they get $38.40 an hour. And we need to know how many of these fit into that. So we're going to say 247.4 divided by 38.40. And you got to answer to the nearest half hour. So pretty important there. So 247.4 divided by 38.4. Okay, so we had 6.44. So hours, minutes, seconds. So this one, because we've got to answer nearest, we can't say it's 6 hours because they'll be short. We're going to have to round it up. So it's going to be 6 hours and 30 minutes because it's the nearest half hour. So 6 hours and 30 mins. You got to write however you like. So there you go. Whew. Not bad for 10 o'clock at night. Okay, so hopefully that helps someone. And I'll look forward to doing the next episode tomorrow. See you guys.